So we are done with the third book of Moses called Leviticus. And this is the law. This is a legal book. It's the law that was laid. Also, Deuteronomy talks a lot about the law. Of course, Exodus as well. But there is a lot of things to learn from here. These were the statutes as talking as a legal term, not as a religious term. I think a lot of people that whether they are Christian or not, they look at the Bible and they say, well, that's your religion, that's your belief. You read the Bible, good for you. Absolutely not. Because these are the laws that the pilgrims used to rule themselves when they came into the New World, and when Europe became Protestant, they used a lot of the law or the laws from Moses to have a legal precedent for the modern laws that were being created. And it is undeniable that Moses is the lawgiver, but a lot of people go and quote Hammurabi as the lawgiver, in that we follow old laws from Hammurabi and all these other clowns, which completely made up. They have no basis in reality. They're made up by Rome and the Jesuits to deceive people, because no one knew anything at the time except the Lord, because most of the laws that that were being created in the old empires were one-sided. And as we have seen in the book of Leviticus, these laws that the Lord gave the children of Israel were fair to everyone. We went through real estate, and then we went through what we call in our modern day, so chapter 27, we call property appraisers, and we call real property. And that's where the American appraisers laws and estimation, assessing value of real property. Real property is not just real estate. Real property is anything that belongs to you. So that might be a car, might be cattle, might be, possessions like that. That's what we call real property. And the state or the county, we have about 3,700 counties in the United States, I believe. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's how many. I know in the state of Florida, we have 67 counties. Every county has a real property assessor or a tax collector, and they work together to be able to know how to tax the people, and they designate a value for a certain thing. So when you go to the tax collector or the DMV to register a new vehicle, they're going to say, okay, let's look at the make and model of the vehicle, and let's look at the amount of purchase. And according to that, I'm going to tax you a certain percentage. On top of that, there's a fee for the plate. There's a fee for the tags. There's a city fee if you're in some major cities like Miami, New York. Then you have a city fee on top of the county fee. And these people are called real property appraisers. And they assess the value of something in order to tax it. Well, where do they get these values? How do they know, well, this property over here, let's talk about real estate, this property here, we value it at a certain amount. And therefore, the taxes for this property are going to be this. Then from there, they're like, okay, so let's look at the individual and let's say, do they have homestead exemption? So then they discount something because your home is your homestead. So they give you a discount. Okay, are they military? Are they public servants? Then they give you another discount on your taxes. So, but where do they get these values? How do they decide what to tax, what to discount? Well, if you go all the way back, you will go all the way back to the beginning of America, where the pilgrims looked at the book of Leviticus and Deuteronomy, and they got their ideas from the Bible as to how to assess. So, chapter 27, verse 25 is very interesting. Look at this. And all of thy estimations shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. This is how they estimated things in the olden days. I'm talking the United States, the pilgrims, because they needed to estimate, and their guidance was completely the Bible. Completely the Bible. And it is very obvious. And so now they want to take away the Bible and then say, you know what? We will set up our own estimations for things. And now we have a mess like you people have in New York, or you people have in California, or you people have in all of these godless states. I work in real estate. And the thing that I see all the time is, for example, I work with a lot of people that buy commercial real estate. And you know what they say? So when I ask somebody and I say, hey, so what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for a commercial building. Okay, what state do you want that building to be in? You know what they say to me? It's remarkable. And I don't think I've told my family this. I just spoke to somebody yesterday, and he says, I'll buy any cash flowing deal in any red state. I hate liberal states. That if you ask a real estate investor or a business owner that buys businesses, I'm not talking self-employed people. Self-employed people are not business owners. I'm not talking about that. They're called self-employed. I am self-employed, but I'm talking people who buy this business and they buy this other business. They create a monopoly. You know what they say? They say the best states to invest in and to put my money into are red states. Why? Why is that? Because godlessness produces exactly what the Bible talked about in chapter 26, which is that when we do not obey, look at verse 9, chapter 26. For I will have respect unto you and make you fruitful and multiply you and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store and bring forth the old because of the new. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and your soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. Because when we put God first, He makes us to multiply. He makes us to be fruitful and to multiply. And this is not a debate. It is a fact that when a nation, or in this case, a state, chooses to align itself with the laws that we read and we finished reading today in Leviticus, that state, that nation will be prosperous. There's no question about it. And you have to put your estimations, your business calculations, your foundations according to verse 25 of chapter 27, which is, I read it and I'll read again. And all thy estimations shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. We need to make our business come from the principles of the sanctuary. Today, that sanctuary is the Bible. The Bible unchanged, the received text, not the Catholic Bibles, which are probably most people have a Catholic Bible. The NIV is a Catholic Bible. The New King James is a Catholic Bible. The ESV is a Catholic Bible. All the Bibles that you've ever heard of, they're all Catholic. We do not want to use the Catholic Bible because those produce bondage, because Rome is Egypt. Rome is Egypt. So when the Lord says, you are my people, I brought you out of the land of Egypt and so forth, is we are coming out of the Egyptian church, which is Rome. Rome, you look at like even that little stupid hat that the Pope wears. I don't know what it's called. It looks like a fish on top or something. That is what the old pharaohs used to wear. Go look at the hat of the pharaoh, and then you go look at the hat of the Pope, and it's the same dumb hat. Okay? That is Egypt. That is why we come out of Egypt. When we get saved, we need to leave Egypt. Verse 38 of chapter 25. I am the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. That is Egypt. We have Egypt trying to rule over us. So they give us a Bible that they approve of, and all the modern Bibles are Egyptian. It is designed to bring you back to Egypt. Just like the children of Israel, when they came out of the land of Egypt, they said, let's go back to Egypt because we used to have meat. So we want to eat the meat of Egypt all the time because we are just completely stiff-necked and we're stupid people who don't recognize the wiles of the devil. And so we want to go back to Egypt because it's easier to read. The NIV, it's easier to read. So we say, okay, Egypt, Pope, tell me what I should be reading. And so you pick up the NIV Bible. Let's not do that. The red states, make no mistake about it, the red states in our country where everyone wants to do business, everyone wants to live in a red state. No one wants to live in a place like New York, especially New York City. They don't want to live there because they're oppressive. But make no mistake about it, all the red states, they follow closely what was set up before them, which is biblical principles out of the King James Bible. Don't let anyone tell you that it is not so. It really is so. We will see you guys on the next book that we're going to start, which is going to be tomorrow. We're going to go right on to the book of Numbers. That's going to be a tough one to read, but we'll get through it because I'm looking forward to doing the next book, which is Deuteronomy. It's one of my favorite books. We can be here all day talking about these things, but we have to get to work. Have to go work, and my children have to go, my family, they all have things to do. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.